180 degrees in the horoscope is when a planet is about as far away as it can be from another planet. It's when you're in the circle, you're on the edge of the circle, and I'm standing over here, and it's standing way over there, and you could see as far as the eye can see, and you could see objectively all the landscape that's around it. So you have a choice. 8 is a Scorpio number. Scorpio is power, is Pluto, equals choice. That's my whole Pluto and Scorpio lecture is. Pluto is the planet of power because Pluto is the planet that rules choice. Choice equals power, and power equals choice. So the 8 is about choice. Okay. The 8 is about choice, and the 1 is about for myself. An opposition is about as far away as you can get in the journey. It's 180 degrees, which is the diagonal of a 360-degree circle. The rubber band is about as stretched as it's going to get. And either you loosen up a little bit on the tether, or you don't, and it breaks, it releases. That's what always happens at 180 degrees. But what I've found over the years when I watch full moons is a lot of the result of what you're supposed to be learning in, for example, that opposition, because a full moon is an opposition when the sun and the moon are opposite each other and the earth is in the middle, is the result comes after the full moon, after the release, the day or so after it happens. It's worth an opposition. If Pluto thinks you're not conscious enough, which he usually doesn't when you're doing your Pluto square Pluto, which everybody goes through, he comes to the Earth's surface and he snatches you and he sticks you on a meat hook in hell. That's basically what he does. Very sharp, well-ground hook, you know? And you're hanging on this thing bleeding to death. And if, in fact, you have any kind of Plutonian energy at all in the chart, it makes it a little bit more difficult because the first thing you try to do is you negotiate a deal. Of course, he's not going to listen to that, and he walks away. And you have to sit there and you go through this pain. And finally, you get to the place where you're really bleeding, and it's really painful, and everybody else around you has died. You know, I mean, literally and figuratively. You're going, wait, this is not working. And you say to him, look, I'll do anything you want. I'll do anything you want. I'll give up anything you want if you'll give me back my life. Basically, you say, I surrender is what you say. And he says, I'll give you anything you want if you give me what you believe you cannot live without. And so you choose to sacrifice on his or her altar, depending on how you view Pluto, because Pluto is both male and female, that which you believe you cannot live without, but you've already been pretty dead, and you haven't used it for a while. You know, it's like a garage. You know, you store things from the garage. You go, well, I don't need this anymore, and you just put it on the thing, and he burns it up, and he gives you back your life. When you go back to life, you get a treasure that is your real gold, and it's nothing that you sacrificed on the altar. There's a million people walking around like this on a full moon. A full moon is an opposition. It's a person who's born with their sun and their moon in opposite positions. Right? Just without even looking at the planets, what kind of an interpretation would you give to a person? I have my own particular interpretation that I give to people who are born on full moons. But what would you say if somebody comes in and they're born on the full moon? Full moon, sun opposition moon. Forget the signs. Just look at the planets. What kind of a personality is this? People who have a lot of oppositions are people that try to see both sides and just tears them up. So the key here is if you have a lot of conjunctions, try to be more oppositional. And if you have a lot of oppositions, try to be more, this is the extreme, and so you come somewhere in the middle to the 90 degrees.